You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
And we're here at the top 8. It's been a fantastic 7 rounds to get us here. We have an amazing top 8 here. Lots of great competitors. We have last week's winner in the top 8 again. Exciting stuff's going on. I, of course, am Mark, Chibikawaii, and in the booth, I've got the Counterbob, good guy as well. He's going to give a quick rundown of this top 8. Man, it's just super excited. I'm really excited. Counterbob, take it away.
If you like Argent Port Mid, it's super exciting. If you don't, it's a little less exciting. We do have 3 copies of Argent Port Mid. You got Darkness, Unearthly, and Alarmadillo playing Argent Port Mid. Go through the matchups themselves. Danapor is going in second blue. Danapor playing Icaria blue. We saw that just recently. Second blue is playing Dark Ombre. That should be an interesting matchup. I'm not sure who to give the favor in that. It could go to Icaria. I think with the best of 5, a lot of it goes into their sideboard game plan.
Yeah.
Unearthly against Pupicidius. Let's see.
Oh,
that is Argent Port against TGS Mid. It's more down to the ground rather than the Dark Ombre list. I think Argent Port Mid might just come up on top. I think they just have stronger units, and Tabrod's a beast. And Unearthly is a really good player. Nothing against Puppy, but Unearthly has just showed how strong a player he is. We got Darkness going against our good friend, good old Besson Buffoon. It's Argent Port Mid against Feln Control. We saw Buffoon navigate this matchup pretty well earlier in the Swiss, and I think it might go to him. Feln just has a bit of an edge against the Argent Port mid-range, and we'll actually see that matchup here with Bashing Tuan and Alarmadillo. Same old thing here. Yeah, Argent Port Mid versus Feln Control, and it should be interesting. It is best of 5, so sideboards are super important once you make the top 8. And if you can build a good sideboard, it can really go a long way and bring you to the finals.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna have to, and then specifically in terms of our Alarmadillo versus Bashing Tuan, no offense against Armadillo, but I'm kind of feeling Felon here.
Yep, and also for Alarmadillo, this is his first season in the ETS, and he's top-8'd with 2 different decks. Last week he won with Xenon Killers, and this week top 8's with Argent Port. So it looks like we have another strong player on the scene, ready to take Unearthly's throne, maybe.
Yeah, making a strong impact. Rookie season here. Big things. I don't know. I'm liking it. Hopefully, maybe they'll be able to pull it out. What if they went back to back? You're starting a heck of a name for yourself in the ETS community if you can pull that off.
Yeah, back-to-back national championships sponsored by Fred McGriff. I don't know if too many people remember that commercial back from the early 90s.
McGruff the Crime Dog?
No, the AAU national championship baseball commercial with Fred McGriff.
Vaguely. But we do see Alarmadillo.
Show my age there.
Alarmadillo playing Argent Port Instigator on turn 2, passing back to Bashing Tuan. Bashing Tuan on their turn 2 plays a power, plays the Suffocate, gets rid of the Argent Port Instigator. Alarmadillo playing a second Argent Port Instigator on their turn 3, at which point Bashing Tuan's only response is in Eileen's favor, getting a Primal Sigil out of the deck, playing said Primal Sigil, and then using a second Suffocate. So we're back to being even. Alarmadillo at 23, Bashing Tuan at 25.
Yeah, this double Suffocate's really coming up strong here. Hits most of these Argent Port units. It's could be the reason why we see these Feln Control decks playing that card once more. Some got off it, some stayed on. It seems to be in both lists we've seen today. Argent Port's all over. It kills all of their 2 and 3 drops. So, and when you're playing against any of the red decks, it kills just about everything they have. So, very strong card once again with Suffocate.
Yeah, and Alarmadillo is stuck on 3 power, but still has another Overseer and another Valkyrie Enforcer in hand. And right now, he's dealing 5 damage a turn in the air.
Yeah, we saw earlier in the Swiss with Unearthly, stuck on 4, was still managed to take home victories.
Yes.
But it could be a little bit different here on turn 5 here. We could see the Witch come down, and then maybe next turn the Vara's Favor on one of these 2 units across the way. I don't know if he wants to cash in that high against it or just cash in this Death Strike.
I actually kind of just like playing the Steward of the Past, just get a little bit more pressure, because at this point, like, assuming maybe Alarmadillo just has a handful of vanquishes or something, right? Then you're out racing, you're winning that race at that point by getting 6 power on the board, and you have the potential of getting more value from your Witch. The Bashing Tuan just going to go ahead and play out the Witch here, turning on the Vara's Favor for next turn, but Alarmadillo is just going to be able to play either another Valkyrie Enforcer or a Overseer, and Bloodletter was drawn for the turn. That's going to pull, all right, so that pulls a Valkyrie Enforcer out of range. Alarmadillo gets a swing in for 8 here, dropping Bashing Tuan down to 15. Alarmadillo up to 26. Bashing Tuan is going to be able to fire off that Vara's Favor on the Tinkerer Overseer, taking care of that, but there's still a 6/4 in play. Thankfully, that Death Strike in hand for Bashing Tuan was able to take care of that. Bashing Tuan beating in for 4 with his units, passing back to Alarmadillo. Alarmadillo drawing his 4th power finally, allowing him to play the Tinkerer's Overseer and holding up 2 open power. 2 open power not going to do much here on this board. Bashing Tuan playing a power and playing the Steward of the Past. Magic will see an attack in for 3 here, and then we'll be there.
Yeah, it could work out in Alarmadillo's favor here. He has a bunch of good cards in his hand, just can't play them yet. Whereas Bashing Tuan's kind of spewed out his hand, doesn't really have much to show. Can't block any of these flyers. Definitely needs a Black Sky Harbinger at this point to either be a blocker, gain some life. And if Alarmadillo hits a power, be able to drop Tavrod. That could just be lights out. I mean, just these 2 flying units could just be lights out. 2-turn clock. Well, still a 2-turn clock here with that.
Interesting that they didn't choose to silence the Withering Witch. Not that it matters. Well, actually, it could, right, with Vara.
Yep. If the somehow it dies, bring it back with Vara. That's in the late game, but
and that's GG.
Yeah,
that
we
was
see again.
Letter off the top for Alarmadillo.
The 4 power stuck, you still have all the flyers.
Yeah, that's very true.
We hit the sideboard and bring in all of that.
Not yet.
The sideboard afterward. That's right.
Yeah. So this is going to be a best of 5. We did not cover that at the beginning. So each one of our top 8 matches is going to be best of 5. The first 2 games are played without sideboard, and then if we make it to so the third game will be played with sideboard, and then if we make it to a games 4 and 5, both of those will be with the sideboard as well.
So yes, Bashing Tuan gets to go first this game, so you can try to get ahead of any units being played by Alarmadillo. It should be beneficial. We'll wait for them to resolve mulligans here. So I assume Bashing's going to mulligan this hand full of Harbingers and only one.
I think he keep it.
1 power.
Oh, did he actually keep it?
I don't think so. I hope not.
I saw it move. Okay. Sorry, I thought I saw it move away from the bottom and then anchor back down. So I got a little confused there. But we do see Bashing Tuan getting a much better hand. He's going to be able to crest, revealing a banner. He's going to put that in the bottom. Next turn, he's going to be able to strategize. Alarmadillo just playing a banner and passing the turn. Okay, we're going to see we are going to see that strategize come out from Tuan. Tuan going to draw a Wisdom of Elders and a Champion of Cunning. Both not terrible draws here. We're going to have to put something on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really like strategizing at that point. Yeah, you have your power and you can do it, but you don't know what you need. You don't know if you need a removal spell. You don't know if you need an extra power. You don't know if you need a steward or just any unit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better just to hold it. You have the power to cast it, but what if you put away a card that you need? And it's just, luckily he does have the wisdom to fill back his hand, so could work out.
Yeah, and so the Wisdom of Elders at the end of the turn, we're going to see a Sabotage come out first. What do you take? I kind of like taking the Protect, right? He's already got 2 kill spells.
Yeah, you take the Protect, so then you can suffocate the Enforcer, and then later on you have an open window to kill Tavrod.
Yep, and then you also get to play the Crust this turn, revealing a Lightning Storm. That's probably going bottom. Yeah, we do see it going bottom, and just like you said, the Suffocate's coming out, that Valkyrie Enforcer is going away, and we're going to set up a Champion of Cunning for next turn if we want to, though we may wait on that and just play Steward of the Past, so that way we can have Aegis up the following turn.
With 3 champion cuttings, well, no, he saw the hand. If it was blind, you might want to play it.
Yeah.
It's free if he doesn't have it, and then you're playing 3 of them, and it's just ridiculous.
How do you feel about the Steward Pass not getting played?
Yeah, I would have liked at least playing something there.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to bluff with that. You just want to get a unit on board, start smashing in, because he's not going to block it with the Impending Doom.
Exactly. And you have the ability to maybe bait out some of that removal, right?
Yeah, and then next turn you have the ability, like if he plays Tavrod, you have the ability to block it there.
Yes.
So I think it's just a miss.
There's a Withering Witch. I don't think we're going to see anything with that. I have to imagine. Well, and now you're kind of in an awkward spot, right? Because you know that Annihilate is there and you know that a Slay is there. So you know that this Tavrod is going to be able to swing and connect no matter what you play here.
Yeah, he could have been afraid of that Annihilate, but you still force it out. You have another one. And here, your Champion Cunning's not going to block a Tavrod, so it's a free swing.
Ooh.
If he gets any sort of weapon or another Tavrod, you're just behind at this point.
Bloodletter was revealed, so that's going to make that Tavrod quite big next turn. It's going to be an 8 and 10 life-stealing endurance unit that's going to draw a whole bunch of stuff. We might see the Withering Witch come down next turn. If we do, Larmadillo is probably going to be pretty happy about that because that Bloodletter is just going to bring it right back out of Danger Zone.
Yep. It looks like double Slay here to get rid of the Champion Cunning. So that's 2 champs down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a Black Sky Harbinger. Unfortunately, don't have 11 mana or 11 power in order to do the Withering Witch Harbinger combo, but we are going to be able to see this Champion of Cunning come down. It's going to be a 5/5. This Alarmadillo is going to be swinging in for 13. Excuse me, because I forgot the +5 from the Tavrod. So wow, going to go drop down to 7. Unfortunately, Bashing has to take that, but now they're wow. Going to be able to
pretty good draw.
Yeah, Vara's Favor into Withering Witch, playing the power from the Vara's Favor. 1 point of damage already going to be on Tavrod, and then the health is going to become 1. Wow.
And he knows the only card left in Alarmadillo's hand is the Annihilate, so neither of these creatures get hit by it.
Yep,
so
and just passing
very good spot.
And just passing the turn here so that this Champion of Cunning is back to block, so they don't have to worry about taking any points of damage from trading there. This Black Sky Harbinger are going to go ahead and take care of that Instigator thanks to the Witch the turn prior, and provides a pretty nice blocker for this Impending Doom, even if you need to trade it off here.
And now you look at a 5/1 Withering Witch who can swing in, deal 5, or maybe gets blocked by an Impending Doom. Although this changes things.
I think you just take it.
I like this block here.
Really?
You know the last card is Annihilate, which doesn't hit either one of these creatures. His hand is another Harbinger. The Harbinger gains you life. You don't want to drop down too low against this deck.
Yeah, but I mean, you would have gone right. So if you just take that 8, you would have dropped down. You would have dropped down to what, like 4, and then you would have been right back up at 9, and you would have been able to play the other Harbinger this turn, and then he would have had nothing on board. He would have had the Annihilate stuck in hand, and then you still would have had everything in play, and all of your second Harbinger would have been gaining more life. I don't know.
Yeah, it's more of like an immediacy things. Like, I know his last card. Let's just get rid of it. He has nothing. I can just put on this pressure and gain a whole bunch of life with the Harbinger. It's a little bit more aggressive play, I would think.
Yeah. I don't know.
It
doesn't matter.
He drew that Gem Blade, so if he doesn't block next turn, he happens to put the Gem Blade on it. So you're just kind of playing around any randomness. He draws another Bloodletter, perhaps. He had the information was just that Annihilate, and with the cards in hand, Chuan just wanted to get rid of anything possible and then just bash through.
Yeah. Well, this guarantees us at least 4 games now, so that's going to be pretty fun. We're going to be able to see sideboarding happen twice, if not more.
They each won a game unsideboarded, and let's see if they can take it with these sideboards.
Yeah. So what do we think is coming in? It looks like Armadillo getting rid of bringing in the Falchions. That's interesting. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's just another powerful card you want to bash through, because we saw him bring down Tuan to pretty low, and just more things you can connect with, making your 2-3 drops just hit super hard, backed up by protects, can just take you a long way. We saw a bunch of games. Like that one game, he won on 4 power, so it's another thing. It only costs 4. You can play, and just it could be hard to deal with, especially with playing death strikes and stuff like that. They can only play 1 a turn. You use protect, hit for another turn. Can be pretty powerful. And he also brought in Maktos. Looks like he did just take out the Falchions again.
Okay, yeah, I think I missed it. I think he just started at 90 cards and Ethan would have
it could have been.
Yeah.
But there's a way you could bring in Falchion. But so it's probably not the best. But
what do you think Felon's bringing in here?
Felon, let's see. You could bring in the additional sabotages, but it's limited. They are more creature heavy, although sabotage is just there's so many important cards to hit. Like Bloodletter is just a very strong card to hit. Hitting Runehammers is great. Taking away 1 slay so they can't double slay your Champion Cunnings is great. There is the Permafrost question. We talked about it the one round where you could bring in Permafrost, but then if you have to play it on an Unseen Commando, it gets rough because things can still get pumped. I definitely think Feeding Time and Death Strike will come in. And I thought we saw Unseal get brought in, but I don't think that was against a Argenport player. I think that was against something else in the previous rounds. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and it does look like players are getting ready, so we're going to be jumping back to the match, and we'll get to see in action what cards are actually sideboarded. All right.
Definitely see the Maktos here. There's one in Lamdill's hand. Looks like he's hovering on keep. His power on that looks kind of rough. A little slow.
It's a little slow. I mean, he is playing against Felon Control, though, so maybe that's... Oh, well, and it doesn't matter because had it off the top, right?
Yeah.
Going to be able to play this Argenport Instigator on turn 2. Armadillo playing a Crest on the draw and missed the card that he was looking at, but did put it on top. And Bashing Tuan going to play a Crest on turn 2 as well, putting his card on top. Argenport Instigator coming out for Armadillo. Wisdom of Elders coming into hand. Bashing Tuan going to go ahead and play a power, leave up Wisdom of Elders for the end of Armadillo's turn.
Yeah, Bashing Tuan's hand was looking kind of meek until that Wisdom. Hopefully can fill it with something that's a little bit more relevant than a turn 5 Witch. You might be able to kill 2 things. You do have 2 Vara's favor, but definitely need something a little bit more proactive, a little bit sooner.
Well, and Champion of Cunning isn't... okay, it's not going to be fully active on turn 5. It's going to take turn 6 for it to be fully turned on.
Yeah, because the banner, you can't play it right away. But who knows? Wow. He'll probably draw a seed off the top or something.
Yeah, seed off the top would be very good. However, Armadillo going to swing in with Argenport Instigator, putting Bashing Tuan down to 18. Armadillo is still sitting at 25. Plays a Impending Doom and then passes the turn. Death Strike coming out from Bashing Tuan on that Impending Doom. And then we see his turn back with that banner being played. That means Champion of Cunning going to come down next turn fully active. We do see another attack from the Argenport Instigator on Bashing Tuan, dropping Bashing Tuan down to 15, and another Impending Doom being played for Armadillo.
Yeah, I like how he keeps the 1-up for Protect, because you could play the matchup at the Protect, and we see the pause there, so Tuan gets the clue that there is a Protect, at least on the other side here.
Yeah, and this Makto is going to be so huge, especially with this Protect up. It blocks Champion and Cunning all day and happily. And I wouldn't be surprised even if we see a block, or I actually kind of like I don't know, maybe I like attacking before. I guess if you're going to attack at all.
Yeah, I don't think he attacks here because he's only at 10.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah,
and if you're a Armadillo, you're like, fine, I'll take that, no problem. Tinker Overseer and Valkyrie Enforcer. He could play Enforcer here to take off the Aegis. Doesn't have anything now, but if he draws like a Vanquish or Slay off the top, it's a good way to get rid of this Champion and Cunning. No block. These Flyers, this is the namestay of the Argenport deck, Flyers.
Yeah, and that's an extract for Twan. Going to go ahead and strategize first, which I like, but that extract is going to be able to answer the Valkyrie Enforcer, at least allowing Champion and Cunning to get some hits in.
You might need to keep it back as a blocker though here, because
he can
attacks,
take one. Can he take one more hit?
He could Vars favor the Instigator here.
Okay, and then we know there's another extract on the top. Yep. But I feel like you don't want to block until you play Steward of the Past, right?
Yeah, you can take the 5 here because he's not going to swing in with the Tinker Overseer here.
Yeah.
So next turn is going to be pretty good here. He'll be able to drop the Steward and then also extract the Tinker Overseer, gaining some life, and then probably stopping any attacks from Mokdo.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get in with this Withering Witch, dropping Alarmadillo down to 11. Never mind. Excuse me, that's lethal because we just can't count. Ha! There we go.
Champion Cunning hits hard. We forget.
I'm actually kind of surprised Alarmadillo. I guess Alarmadillo was trying to play around that by leaving the Tinker Overseer. Well, no, because the Tinker Overseer just would have died. Yeah. I don't know if Alarmadillo could have done anything different there.
Yeah, I mean, he was Bastion was down to just 1-2 cards in his hands, and he drew both those extracts off the top. Like we saw him scout for 1, keep it on top. So it's a rough situation. It's like put your opponent, he has to have it, and the Feln deck just had it.
Yeah, it looks like Alarmadillo changing up the board plan just a little bit here. Let's see what changes they're actually going to be making. Ooh, considering trimming some of the Tavrots? No. I'm surprised the Rune. I don't know how I feel about the Rune Hammers, in all honesty.
Yeah, it doesn't kill much.
Tavrod hits them, though, and if Tavrod hits them, then they're like really, really good.
Yeah, it looked like he had trimmed some Bloodletters. It looks like he's trading those out. The Rune Hammers for the additional Blood Hammers, bringing them back in. Making these units just a bit stronger, and also the gain life could be important.
Yeah. I like that quite a bit more because they're both weapons, so they're both hits for Tavrod, except you're putting the one that has a little bit of a higher ceiling in this matchup.
I think Bloodletters, like there's the potential to get 2-for-1s with all the removal that the Feln deck does have. But I think it's just more potent.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're almost guaranteed that it's going to get 2-for-1, right? But I think that's like just a price you have to pay.
Yeah, and you are playing 4 protects and sabotage, so there's potential you just play it and it sticks.
Yeah, bashing Twan's hand with this 2 sabotages are going to be able to get rid of both the Rune Hammer and the Bloodletter. Whereas if Bashing Twan did not have these sabotages, there would have Alarmadillo's like curve would have been insane. Yeah,
it would have been very good. And this Annihilate can take care of the Instigator. You can play it now. Doesn't need to sabotage yet, as the Rune Hammer will come down to turn 4. And at this point, Alarmadillo is just kind of drawing off the top. He just has a handful of power. And Bar's favor is not going to do much at this point.
And to be fair, though, Bashing Twan doesn't really have too much going on either. But that's not a position that Feln Control really cares about being in.
Yeah, and he has like the feeding time for any sort of threat that Alarmadillo does play. So,
all right, and there goes the Rune Hammer. Ooh, Tavrod off the top. That's going to be great.
But we do have
next turn. However, the feeding time. Yep.
Yeah, and with Feln having Strategize and Wisdom Elders just has much more draw potential, whereas Alarmadillo's deck only really draws off Tavrod, and there's not many hits off of it.
Yeah, and that's Avara off the top for Bashing Twan, and we do already see 6 power in hand for Bashing.
The Doom does help.
Yes, it does, especially because next turn that's going to be swinging for 8. So that's a 3-turn clock.
Yeah, things really turned around. Didn't draw another removal spell. Nothing. Again, flyers is the name of the game at this point here in Eternal. It's
Yes.
big old flyers.
Wow. All right, so Alarmadillo is going to be able to, or so Bashing's going to be able to put a little bit of pressure on Alarmadillo, but especially, and they're going to be able to play Vara. Does that get him a blocker? It does not. Vara doesn't get anything from the yard yet. Oh, wow.
Yeah, this will be the most useless Vara.
Oh, and that's game.
Yep, that's game. Just a simple flyer with no response.
Just casual. Just casual. All right, well, we get a game 5. Who else?
Yeah, it just shows like
yeah,
the strength of just powerful units with evasion. Flying in Argenport, it's just so key. You see it in so many decks now where just having that simple evasion is just great. That's why Ikaria is good. You see Impending Doom, Makto, Champion Cunning, like all these things that are just flyers, just do so much. Play all your little ground units, but they can't do anything.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Sandstorm Titan is an okay card.
Yes.
Oh man, because without Sandstorm Titan, flying would be infinitely better than it is currently.
Oh yeah, it would be nuts. It would be absolutely insane. Although most of these decks do have ways to get rid of it, but you got to answer it, and it can be rough at times.
So just a quick recap on the game. Alarmadillo has played 2 crests. The first crest that he played on turn 1 ended up bottoming. Crest he played on turn 2 ended up putting on top. Bashing Tuan was able to play a depleted seat on turn 1 and into a turn 2 sabotage, which Armadillo immediately fires out of Protect. Does not want either that Suffocate or that Bloodletter getting taken. Bashing Tuan draws a Champion of Cunning for the turn. Not going to do a ton here. Decides to go ahead and fire off that Vara's Favor, going after Alarmadillo's face and just playing the power from there. Alarmadillo, though, now going to be able to play that Impending Doom that he had in his hand.
He doesn't have any threats right now to follow up. So Impending Doom is just going to eat and annihilate. We see Tuan with another Feeding Time. But we saw last game, the first couple of removal spells ate up the threats the Alarmadillo had. And then the third one just stuck around. Tuan never drew a third removal spell.
Yes, however, Alarmadillo actually had those threats last game. Alarmadillo does not have those right now, and Steward of the Past is effectively another removal spell.
Yes, it is, but it doesn't really affect too many of these flyers. So we could see Enforcer come down, silence the Steward of the Past, and then possibly next turn take that Bloodletter. But we do have the Feeding Time. But I would save it. If I were Tuan, I wouldn't immediately use it. You do have to Suffocate also to get rid of the Steward.
Interesting you wouldn't silence the Steward first.
Yeah, especially if you are going to play it. It doesn't make sense to do it in that order.
And you were you have access to the deck list, and you were shown Vara last game, so Vara is not out of the deck, right?
Yeah. It doesn't make too much sense to do it in that order. It could just been a rushed play, didn't think about it fully. Sometimes it's a long day. We've been playing for 6.5 hours. Sometimes people make just the slightest mistakes.
Yeah, but it's our job to call them out on it.
Of course.
All right. So Alarmadillo drawing a Tinker Overseer for the turn. However, Bashing Tuan more than will be able to play the second Champion of Cunning with flying, with Aegis, and has the Shadow Sigil needed in hand to turn them on, as well as being able to play Vara. Vara going to be able to get back that Steward of the Past, and then that is going to be a very pumped field.
Yeah, this game's just easily over at this point. There's literally nothing Alarmadillo can do at this point. There's no string of cards he can draw. It's just over.
All right, hold on. Let's piece this together. All right, we're gonna draw a Herschel that Aegis does not affect.
Yeah, need double Herschel that costs 3 and 4.
I got it. I got there. We figured it out. Congratulations to Bashing Tuan, though.
Yeah,
Pulling it down.
Champion cutting,
3 games to 1.
champion cutting, still good.
Okay. So yeah, and then we're going to be moving on to the next game. Counterbob, you there?
Yeah. Can you?
All right, Counterbob is, I guess, taking a quick little break. So with that, let's talk about how we bring you this lovely content that you've been listening to right now. So if you've ever wondered about, you're like, hey, I like seeing what you guys do. I'd like to support you somehow, in some way. How can I do that, Mark? Thank you for asking, chat. Let me tell you how you can do that. Well, you're gonna look, and right at the top of the little viewing window, you're gonna see a little button that says follow. And if you haven't clicked that button, my suggestion would be click that button, give us a follow. We would greatly appreciate it. I'll even give you a wink. All right, you won't know I'm giving you the wink, but I'll give you that wink, and it's gonna be a good wink. It's gonna be great. Jesus. And then if you really like us, consider hit the subscribe button right next to that follow button. It's good. It's good stuff there. And if you really like us, we have a little bit of a thing called Patreon, right? You can subscribe. You can pledge us money every month, anywhere from $5 and up dollars each. We have a couple different tiers in there. They get you certain benefits. We'll call your name if you want to be big baller shot caller. All right, it's going to be a $20 plus. You're going to get your name on the little screens that you see in between rounds. It's good stuff there. Also, another fun thing you could do for helping us is if you do like the content and you have an ad blocker, consider disabling that. So that way, when we run an ad, you end up seeing it, right?